Hi, I'm Lee. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a lovely day. I'm a short, overweight, middle-aged white dude. I've got thinning brown hair, black glasses. I'm wearing a blue t-shirt with my logo on it. Pretty cool, right? And I'm sitting in my Tesla Model Y, and this is a follow-up to my previous video, which was the 7 or 8 things that I really like about my Model Y a year and a half into owning it. And this is the 7 or 8 things that I think could be better about the Tesla Model Y a year and a half into owning it. But something I didn't cover in my previous video is I have done just under 19,000 kilometers. So I've got a fair bit of experience in this vehicle. So let's kick off. Now, I appreciate that I'm not covering everything, and again, this is very much the reason why I created a list, because it's going to help me hopefully be a bit more focused. And there's tons of things that I love about the car. There's tons of things that could be better about the car, but I couldn't cover everything because otherwise I'd be talking for hours. And I know how much most people love hearing me talk for hours, but a lot of people don't. So I'm going to try and keep this as focused as possible. Right, let's kick off with the first thing is, I think, and this is an overall kind of a Tesla thing, is Tesla's quite opaque in terms of how things work and where things work. And like, for example, I could just go in here and there's a software update waiting to be done on my car. And if I tap on the release notes, the release notes will say that it's bug fixes. Now, I happen to know that there's actually a couple of features. One in particular, I think they did something with, you can turn on adaptive cruise control by pushing down once, or autopilot by pushing. See, this is the problem. I don't know. Like, I've seen stuff on forums that, oh, there's this hidden feature in the latest update. Tesla, why didn't you just tell us about it? Like, on the one hand, I think, it'd be great if they told us about these things. On the other hand, I appreciate that if they told us about all these things, then not as many people would watch my YouTube channel and other YouTube channels like this, because you wouldn't have to watch these YouTube channels to find out how to do stuff with your car, because the company that makes them would tell you how to do things with your car. But quite frankly, I think the company that makes it should tell you how to use it. I'm going off on a tangent. I apologize. But you get what I'm kind of trying to say, is that it'd be nice if just Tesla just told us more stuff about how all of this works, because it's cool discovering stuff, but it's also cool just not having to discover stuff. So I think Tesla could be more open and communicate better with things that they change and features that they do, instead of just waiting for people to just kind of like magically discover them. Just a thought. And I know there's going to be quite a few people out there who are going to go, why don't you just read the manual? Well, first of all, a lot of these things aren't in the manual. And secondly, who reads manuals? The next thing that I think could be better with the Tesla Model Y, and again, this is more of a Tesla thing rather than just the Model Y, is it'd be great if there were a few more first-party add-ons that you could do with the car. And here's what I mean. So the new Model 3 Highland, I think it's called, has got ventilated seats. It'd be lovely if I could pay to have ventilated seats installed in my Model Y, like a retro installed. Now, fair enough, I'm sure the cost would probably be prohibitive. That's a fancy way of saying it. It'd be a ton of money. But it'd be nice to have the option. Now, I can get third-party options. In fact, I think I've got being sent to me at the moment for review is like a car cover that you can get, a car seat cover that you can get, that gives you ventilated seats. The company that I looked at, Tire Lord, I'll put a link down at the bottom. I've got a referral affiliate code. I do get a cut on those codes, so just be aware of that. You can use it across their site. They've got another thing where you can install like ventilation into the seat. But I watched the video, and it involves like taking the seat out of the car, drilling holes into the foam of the seat. It's like, this may void your warranty. So the frunk is a perfect example. So the fact that the front frunk is not automatic and you've got to physically, like an animal, go and open and close it. It'd be really nice if it was automatic and you could control it from, the software, or open and close it from the app. Now, you can get third-party solutions that do that, and I'd really love to do that, but it hooks into the electrical system of the car, and I'm really nervous about doing anything that plugs into the electrical system of an electric car, because I don't know I'm sure it's all been worked out, but you know, what if it affects the warranty? Now, I've been told by a few people that, well, as long as whatever goes wrong isn't related to that thing that you've done, it should be fine. But am I willing to take that chance to void the warranty on a $70,000 car? Not so much. Another example is the dash. You know, having a display on the dash here. Now, I was really concerned about having everything on the center screen and having a speedo and all that over there when I first got the car. It didn't take me more than 2 or 3 days to get used to it. So having it there, it's really not a big issue. If that's one of your biggest concerns about whether to get a Model 3 or a Model Y, at least I can't say for your experience, but my experience is that it really hasn't been that big of a deal, and it's fine. I'm used to it. I don't mind it being over there. Having said that, every time I review a car that has something in the dash, I'm like, oh, that is better. Having the display there is nicer. Again, you could tell me how that's fine, and it is fine, but it's not better than having it there. It just isn't. So, you know, it'd be nice if we could add these options as first party options, and then we don't have to worry about it affecting the warranty and things like that. So that's something that I think could be better. I appreciate, though, again, I always sort of try and see it from different perspectives. I appreciate that one of the challenges for Tesla is that in order to install all this, I mean, imagine if they announced, oh, you know, from next week, everyone can get, you know, for $2,000, you can install ventilated seats in your Tesla. It would probably cost more, but let's just say that. The thousands of people that would want to do that, there are only 2 Tesla-owned service centers in the whole of Melbourne. So they'd be so backlogged that I don't think they have the service infrastructure to support something like that. So I can understand why, even if they wanted to do it, they may not be able to do it. So I'll give them that, but it still would be nice if they could, you know, have authorized service people that could do it. You could find a way. It'd be nice if they could do that. The next thing that I don't like, and this is, don't like is a harsh term, but that could be better if it worked different and so on, is enhanced autopilot and thing that I don't like. Full self-driving, don't even get me started. It's a complete waste of money. I could do an entire video on that, but we can have discussions. But here's the thing. So the standard autopilot that comes with the car, I think, is fantastic. You've got adaptive cruise, which is great. So, you know, the car will slow down and speed up depending on the speed of the cars in front of it. You can adjust the distance with the dial, and I've got plenty of videos about that, link in the corner. The lane keep assist, which is the autopilot that comes with the car. You double push down on the right-hand stalk to turn that on. You get the blue bars on the outside. That's great. Works really, really well. I used my referral points, by the way, if you are going to buy a Tesla in Australia. Unfortunately, it's only for the Model Y at the moment. You can't get it for the Model 3. You can use someone's referral code, and you get, I think at the moment it's $350 off and 3 months of enhanced autopilot, and they get 10,000 points. Now, you could use my referral code, link down in the bottom, but before you use my referral code, reach out to friends and family and see if any of them are Tesla owners, and rather use their referral code, because I'd rather more people use each other's referral codes. People like me, enough people use our referral codes. You know, if you don't have anyone else, use mine. But otherwise, try and find someone who may have never had a referral and use their referral code. So yeah. So I use my referral codes. I recorded the video like 3.5 months ago. I've really got to finish that editing and do it. So I got enhanced autopilot about 3.5, 4 months ago with my referral code. So I got 3 months of it. And there's features that I really like about it, and there's features that aren't. So the thing that I would love Tesla to do is to break open enhanced autopilot and make it so that instead of paying $5,100 for all of the features of enhanced autopilot, you could spend $1,000 for that feature, $1,000 for that feature, so on and so forth. Or you could use points to get it for life. And that's the other point. I'll get to the life thing in a moment. But to explain what enhanced autopilot is, in case you're not aware, is that it's a software update. So it's just like, you know, you buy a thing in the app and then it unlocks the features on the car. A few of the features that it's got, the thing that I really like is you can change lanes. So you can change lanes while you're in autopilot. So you can indicate and then give the steering wheel a little bit of a tug, and the car will just change lanes for you and stay in the lane keep assist feature in autopilot. You can have it decide when to change lanes. I would highly recommend you don't have that, because sometimes it decides to change lanes into another vehicle, which gets me onto the other thing, which we'll get to in a moment. So the changing lanes, fantastic. It's got navigate on auto, which is basically if you're navigating on a highway, and you've got the maps on and you've got an off-road turn off, it'll indicate and take the turn off for you. I've found that to be very hit and miss. I've found sometimes it either misses the turn off completely, or even more scary, is that it'll start indicating, it'll start taking the turn off, and then halfway between the lanes, it'll go, oh no, I don't think I should be doing this, and it'll just try and veer back into the lane, which quite frankly is dangerous and is just not good enough. So that's also why, like the Navigate on Auto, I just don't have it on, because I don't see value in it. Yeah, so there's that. Then you get Summon, which you can use the app or the key fob if you have one to make the car go backwards or forwards if you're stuck like in a really tight parking spot. That's useful. You've got Smart Summon, which theoretically, if you're in a parking lot, and it only works, it can't work on public roads, so it'll only work in a parking lot. But let's say you've come out of a shopping center and if you're full of bags, you could make the car leave the parking spot and come to you. Now, it's a party trick and it works so slowly. Now, I think it's good that it works so slowly because it's overcautious, because it doesn't, want to run over people. So I appreciate why it's so slow, but it's so slow that it's really not practical, and it doesn't seem to, you could just walk to your car a lot quicker. So yeah, again, this could get better with software, but it's been around for a while and it hasn't really gotten that much better. So I'm trying to think if there's any other feature of enhanced autopilot. No, I think that's all the features. Oh, the auto park. So the car will auto park itself. Yeah, the first thing that I found with the auto park is I'm not sure how to get it to activate, because there's no turn on auto park button. You've got to try and put the car in a position that it will recognize that it needs to auto park, and then it will bring up the auto park. And very often I'm trying to park and I'm paying attention to parking, and the auto park thing comes on, and I touch something like I reverse a little bit more, and then it goes, oh no, I'm not going to switch myself. So like it disappears before I even have the chance to turn it on. So I could definitely take that or leave it. So yeah, so pretty much it's just the being able to change lanes while you're in autopilot that I would pay for on enhanced autopilot. And I probably will cover this in the main video of it. I'll put a link hopefully once that video is out, which will be after this video, so it may not be there at the moment. Another big issue that I have with enhanced autopilot and full self-driving is that it's not attached to your Tesla account, it's attached to the car. So what that means is that if you sell the car, you don't get to choose whether to keep the enhanced autopilot or full self-driving. It goes with the car. In fact, I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, in the US, if you sell the car to a dealer and then the dealer on-sells the car, then I think nobody gets it and it just sort of magically disappears, or it's supposed to disappear. Now, I think that's not the way it should work. Like, for example, I think it's actually really unfair, because let's say, for example, you live in the US and you buy full self-driving, which I think is like $15,000 in the US, and your car is parked on the side of the road, and some driver's not paying attention and they hit your car, and your car is written off, and now the insurance company will pay for a new car, but they're not going to pay for full self-driving, and the full self-driving disappeared along with your car that's been written off. So you just lose it. I mean, that just seems, if anything else, it just seems unfair. Yeah, sorry, I go on I have quite strong feelings about the whole autopilot thing, and particularly like first of all, full self-driving is where the car does drive itself. That's only available in the US. And I actually had a bit of an experience with it for the first time about a few weeks ago when I was in the US for a job, and a mate of mine picked me up in his Model Y, and he's got full self-driving, and so we used it for about 5 minutes, and only tried to kill us twice. I joke. But it was, so the two instances where my friend had to actually take over was, so we're on the highway and we're in the slow lane, and there's an on-ramp coming onto the car, and so we're like this, and then another car is coming up on the side, and so our car, like, either, in that situation, you either slow down to let them in, or you speed up to get ahead of them to let them in. But our car just sort of sat there and just wasn't doing anything. And this is the thing that confuses me about the full self-driving thing. Like, I've only got 2 eyes. The car's got like 8 or 9 cameras, and it's got a computer brain, so it should be able to see all the cars around me much better. It should be able to think and calculate things a lot faster than me, and yet it just sat there and didn't do anything. And so, yeah, the other one was like we were coming on the off ramp, and there were 3 lanes in front of us, and we were in the middle lane, and there was a space in the right hand lane. We had to go in the right hand lane, but it couldn't see that there was a space there, and it just kind of sat there. So we had to turn it off, indicate, and get into the right lane so we could turn. So I'm sure people have opinions down below, but my experience of it is that it's not that good. And here's the thing: is if my phone is buggy, it's an inconvenience. If my car is buggy, it could drive me off a cliff. So, you know, I definitely trust the autopilot that comes with it. You know, the adaptive cruise and lane keep assist. When I'm on highways, have no problem with it. It works pretty much perfect all the time. And the times when it doesn't work, it doesn't make the car act erratically. It just doesn't work. Like I'll indicate and the changing lane thing just doesn't come on. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just change lanes myself. It's not the end of the world. So that's that. Sorry, I went on a bit more than I was planning to on that one, but it's been in the back of my mind for a while. So there we go. The other thing that I think could be better is Teslas don't support vehicle to load. So vehicle to load, if you don't know what it is this amazing cool feature where you've got a massive battery in this car. And so what vehicle to load allows you to do is it allows you to plug electrical things into the car and power them off the car. So if you're going camping, you could plug a little fridge into the car, and you could plug a little induction cooktop into the car. I did a little video looking at a BYD Atto 3 of some friends of mine, and a cool thing that I was able to do is, we deliberately filmed it at night. So I had these 3 massive powerful lights filming the car, and all those lights were being powered off of the car, which is pretty cool. And I can see reasons why you wouldn't want to do it, but on balance, I think Teslas would be a lot cooler if they did have vehicle to load. The next one is, so my car has got ultrasonic sensors, which they're like I don't know if they're infrared or radar or whatever, but it has sensors, and it uses those sensors to gauge distance from something in front of me so I don't hit it. And I think back in the day with Autopilot, I don't know if it still uses it, it would use that to gauge where cars are and so on. Teslas now don't come with those sensors because Tesla has said that it comes with all these cameras and the cameras are better. They're not. You can argue with me until you're blue in the face, but they're not. And here's why. First of all, your cameras could get blocked with gunk or what have you. It could be foggy, whereas radar, I think, can see through fog. Cameras can't. So just pure and simple, it'd make more sense to have the cameras and the radar and the sensors, and I'd like as many sensors as possible. So hopefully Tesla will rethink that. Either make the cameras better, which at the moment they're definitely not, and they're going to be better. Yeah, well, you took my money now. I'd like it to be better now. So there's that. I think I'm coming across as a bit harsh. So I hope there's just stuff that again, they could be better, but I hope, that makes sense. Now, another thing with the cameras is there's no 360 degree. So, if I put on my if I want to reverse, I've still got quite nice, reverse cameras. So I've got the cameras on the side and whatever. But I've been in lots of cars that have got that 360 degrees, and Tesla definitely has enough cameras to support it. So if someone knows if there's a good technical reason as to why Teslas don't have the 360 degree camera thing, please let me know in the comments. But it'd be nice if it had it. Like you can't say that it's something that we should, tell me why it shouldn't have it and why it's better. So yeah, please do. If not, I think it should. And finally, and this is a really small thing, but my wife definitely misses it. I think she calls it the "Oh Jesus" handle. There's no handles up here, and there's no handles anywhere. And just like when you're going around corners, it's just nice to, even just sometimes when you're just sitting, it's just nice to have a handle. Small thing, I know, but it'd be nice if it had it. So that was a bit more of a rant than I was expecting. go back and watch all of my other videos. I love the car. It's fantastic. It's really cool. There's lots of things that I absolutely love about the car. But there are just a few things that, you know, could be better because there's no such thing as a perfect thing. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was useful. If you have enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. If you have already subscribed, thank you so much for your support, and we'll catch you on the next one. Safe and happy driving. Yeah, I was a bit more negative than I was planning there, but yeah. Okay, now let's do some quick tips. Hi. Okay, unplugging. Hi. Okay, there's a guy unplugging his car right now, and it's really distracting me. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm talking to the camera and don't make eye contact with him. And then we'll see if he just goes away, and then we'll see how it goes, or if he wants to ask me a question. He's still packing up his... Okay. Awkward eye contact has been avoided. If you're watching this and you're the gentleman who's packing up your white Model Y, I apologize for not talking to you, but yeah. Okay. But I've got to get this video done. I'm sorry, I just don't have time to chat. It's recording. Okay. I like it on record, but I think that's a stupid idea. It's gonna potentially go very, very wrong.